But without being immodest, Ondo State has been in the front burner. That is the truth. Ondo State has been in the front burner in ensuring that there is adequate security provided. And Your Excellency, just to join the President of the Nigeria Bar Association, thank you so very much for bringing peace to Ondo State and the development strides which you have embarked upon. I will now call on you, sir, to deliver your paper without much ado. Please, a round of applause for His Excellency. Thank you.
The chairman of the session has already performed one of the functions or things I will have done, which is maintaining a 1-minute silence for the late senior advocate of Nigeria, calling Amotekun Generalissimo. But he did it as member of his profession. But for me, as my immediate principal, the man whom God chose or used at the time to choose me as his deputy in 2020, who later succeed him currently as the governor of Ondo State. I would also like us to stand up for 1 minute and seek your indulgence for a moment of silence for a solemn remembrance for our beloved late governor, Arákùnrin Olúwarútìmí Ọdúnayọ̀ Akérédolú. I must quickly express my gratitude to the leadership of Nigeria Bar Association for this rare honor and privilege given to me by this invitation and by extension of Ondo State to have a section in this year annual general conference of the bar, a noble body, Nigeria Bar Association. I thank you so much for this honor given to Ondo State. It doesn't mean Ondo State is the best state in Nigeria to be given this kind of opportunity. It's because you identify a product that we have, an offering that we can offer to the entire nation, Nigeria. Ondo State, let me just take you through who we are and what we have. We are a state of about 5 million people with very huge arable lands and forests, good for agric and agribusiness. And in fact, Ondo State is the largest producer of cocoa in Nigeria. And you know the price of cocoa now. If you don't know, let me just let you know. In 2023, about this time when they were about to move into the main crops of the season, a ton of cocoa was going for about 2.5 million naira, about $1,500, because it's an international commodity. But today, as we speak, a ton of cocoa is about 15 million naira, about $11,000. You know what that means, the leap from about 2.5 million to about 15 million naira per ton. That is to tell you that our farmers are smiling to the banks. They are able to maintain that position as the largest grower because our farms are now safe because of the security architecture this government, Ondo State government, has put in place. So we are majorly farmers apart from civil service. You know, they always say Ondo State is civil servant state. Yes, we have a lot of them, because when they are the largest staff that we have as a government, and whenever they receive their monthly salaries and allowances, you know how much billions that will go into the circulation immediately to stimulate the economy. Reason they've been saying Ondo State is a civil servant state. But we have moved away from that, and we're trying to industrialize the state, and we have few industries. Cassava to ethanol in our industrial park. We produce even clothes, lace materials, and Ankara materials from that industrial park, even thread for sewing. We have HDF, plywood for furniture, and all of that we have in Ondo State. Right now, you notice that cost of garri has gone up because cassava to ethanol is a major user of cassava. And what we are telling our people is to grow more cassava because it now has alternative use. Most farmers will now prefer to sell their cassava to the factory because they are paying more. They are paying higher prices. And then for those who want to mill garri, because they cannot pay as high as the factory. So you now have short supply in garri. So the price has gone up while most farmers are now selling to the factory. What we are telling our people is grow more cassava. So a lot of people should go back to the farm. There is ready market for cassava in Ondo State. So let me use this opportunity to invite those of you who are looking for where to invest in agriculture. Cassava is selling so fast, and it takes about 6 months or so to grow cassava, to harvest it. So come to Ondo State. The land is there, and it's so fertile, indeed. Even without the fertilizers, they can grow, but we also support them with fertilizers. So we are an agrarian society. Apart from other deposits that Ondo State have, like bitumen, the second largest deposit in the world, oil and gas, especially from my own local government, like the local government, where we have deposit of crude oil that make Ondo State the only western state in Nigeria to be part of Niger Delta State. We have the longest coastline and the cleanest beach in Nigeria. That is Araromi Beach. You need to visit and see by yourself. So we are very hospitable people with good character, loving people. And if you want to know more about us, apart from other deposits that we have, like limestone, ceramic, quarry, so many of them. So you can read about us from our investment vehicle called Ondipa, where you will find all that we have, where you can invest. Now, the NBA as a body of legal minds has not only brought honor to our country, but it remains in the forefront of our collective struggle for a better Nigeria. Don't forget I mentioned that because we have something that we can offer the nation. That is why this section has been created for us. And in your quest to press forward, with a posture of building a better Nigeria, so you look at some of these of it that are considerations that we need to look into. So what are the things we need to look into if we are really, really pressing forward with a posture of building a better Nigeria, which is the theme of your conference this year. You've been making tremendous contribution to the development of our motherland. It is therefore not surprising that you have come up with yet another great initiative to brainstorm on the seemingly challenges that we've been facing in Nigeria, particularly for this section that has to do with insecurity in Nigeria. It has been a challenge for which we have been in desperate quest for solutions. So I salute the NBA consistency and the demonstration of your patriotism and concern for the well-being of the people of this nation. Now, if the existing structure, the security structure of this nation with the central policing, because we are looking at a question whether state policing or state police is the solution to our insecurity, which is a topic that we are looking at even as we are pressing forward with a posture of building a better Nigeria. We are looking at the area of insecurity. And the question is, we have security outfits, the police, the military, the civil defense, and all of them. But when we talk about civil security, we are referring to police at this time because that is one conventional body that is saddled with, homeland security, if I may say, if I may use that word. So the police is very, very important. But the question is state policing a solution to the problem of insecurity in Nigeria? So I will say that if the current structure, central structure of the police is perfect or near perfect, there won't be any quest for whether we need to have state police. That means there are gaps. And that is why we are pressing forward to look for a better system that will take care of lives and property of this nation. So the current structure is inadequate. We talk about the inadequacy of the central police arrangement. So today it is with a heavy heart, yet a resolute determination, that I stand before you to discuss a matter of utmost importance. The topic is State Police, a solution to national insecurity. This topic, in my humble opinion, brings to the fore our collective inadequacies as a government in not measuring up to the responsibility imposed by Section 14, subsection 2B of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, which provides that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. This, no doubt, calls for an urgent need to enshrine state policing as a constitutional right. For too long, our country has grappled with the scourge of insecurity, watching helplessly as the centralized police model has proven inadequate in the face of evolving threats. You see, nothing is static in this world. Nothing. Even society evolves. And the evolution of society brings to fore different situations, scenarios, different demands, aspirations, and yearnings. Same is our security, the insecurity in Nigeria. It's an evolving threat because of the dynamic nature, the evolution of society itself. The dynamics of criminalities and complexities of our communities have thrown up a new security challenges which require local and community-based initiatives to combat them effectively. Times were then when centralized conventional police tried to manage our internal security system. the advent of kidnappings, which were not really there at the time, banditry, cattle rustlings, farmers, herders, clashes, and terrorism is an evolution in security threats that calls for new approaches to security architecture and crime prevention in our country. We required a decentralized security system that takes into account our diverse sociocultural terrains and environmental peculiarities in the management of our crimes. Now, you cannot compare Lagos State with Ondo in terms of our environment. Lagos State, they don't have forests. I don't think they have farmlands too, because, all their forests have been cleared. They are now towns, new town development. That is their own, because people are migrating into Lagos on daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. They need accommodation, they need land. So they are even reclaiming sea, to provide shelter for people, to get land. So no forest in Lagos State. No farmland. They will buy rice and meal in Lagos. They have relationship with other states that, have farms. Maybe remote parts of Lagos, they might have one poultry farm or the other. But for us in Ondo State, we have huge forests, we have farmlands, and so our environment differs. So when we are dealing with security arrangement, the kind of security architecture we put in Ondo State might be different from that of Lagos State. Lagos might be comfortable with conventional police because they can get to everywhere, and they are not experiencing some kind of security threat that we are experiencing in Ondo State. So, our sociocultural terrains and environmental peculiarities, need to be considered in management of crimes and security challenges. The centralized police structure, once envisioned as the protector and servant of the people, has proven inadequate in the face of the complex and evolving security challenges of our time. It fails to shield us from the marauders who strike fear into the hearts of our citizens. It is limited in its capacity to bring to justice those who have turned our highways into death traps and our farmlands into killing fields. It has eroded the confidence and trust that is the bedrock of any functioning society. In the midst of this darkness, we must not allow despair to take root in our hearts. We must not surrender to the forces of chaos and disorder. We must not lose hope. And that is why we are still questing for a better structure. For even in the bleakest of times, there is always a glimmer of light and a spark of possibility and a chance to turn the tide. And that is what has happened to us in Ondo State. At the time, our farmers were being molested, harassed, and killed. People were living in fear. They could not go to their farms. They could not go out to go about their businesses until we think out of the box through the Dawn Commission. That is the Dawn Commission is development agenda of Western Nigeria, yes. Development agenda of Western Nigeria. Dawn Commission that conceived the idea of Southwest Security Network, codenamed Amotekun. Interestingly, a glimmer of hope emerged from the heart of Ondo State with the birth of the Western Nigeria Security Network, known as Amotekun, under the visionary leadership of my late principal and former governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, SANCON, a former bar president, in collaboration with his fellow governors in the Southwest. This groundbreaking homegrown initiative then evolved. Amotekun has soared to the unprecedented heights, becoming a shining example of the transformative power of a state-level security. Amotekun calls lofty journey has been one of remarkable achievements and unwavering resilience. Our brave men and women have scaled the most daunting challenges, confronting terrorists, bandits, and kidnappers with unwavering courage. They have forged deep connections with our communities, earning the trust and respect of the very people they serve. Their tireless efforts have not only saved countless lives, but also restored a sense of security and belonging that had long been elusive. The Amotekun Corps is more than just a security outfit. It is a symbol of our belief in the power of community-based solutions. Amotekun represents our commitment to empowering our people, giving them the tools they need to take ownership of their own security. It is a statement of our faith in the ability of our communities to rise to the occasion, to protect themselves and each other under the subnational coordination. I'm proud to say that Amotekun has delivered based on their mandate. Even though there is still room for improvement, and they are going through training and retraining every now and then, it has brought a measure of peace and security to our people, a peace that had long been elusive. This homegrown initiative has demonstrated that when we trust in our communities, when we empower them, when we give them the responsibilities and the resources to secure their own lives and property, they can achieve remarkable results. Now, the synergy between Amotekun and other security agencies has placed Ondo State as one of the most peaceful and secured states in Nigeria today. Now, Amotekun, the way it stands, is like a type of state police. And because of the achievements they have attained, we can say state policing is part of solution to our insecurity. I can even go further to say it's a solution, though not the only solution to insecurity in Nigeria. My noble lords and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is but a glimpse of what state policing can truly accomplish, what Amotekun have accomplished. There are so many other areas of Amotekun's accomplishment that will not be mentioned in this gathering for security reasons. They have done so well. That is our offering, that we are offering this body as they press forward with a posture of building a better Nigeria. This is one of the considerations you can think about, in the area of insecurity. Imagine a Nigeria where every state is empowered to tailor its security approaches to the unique needs of its people. A country where swift response times, targeted interventions, and community-driven initiative becomes the norm rather than the exception. This is the future we must fight for when we are pressing forward and looking for a better future for our people. A future where the safety and well-being of our citizens are paramount, protected by the very foundations of our Constitution. Now, there are some concern by some people about state police. And such is the concern they also have about Amotekun. When the late governor was at the forefront pushing for it to be legalized. Yes, we have the assembly at the various states, the southwestern states, yes, passed the law, but with certain restriction because we are just a subnational to the Federation of Nigeria. And we're trying to engage the federal government to allow that to be so that they can also handle certain categories of weapon. For some concerns, they did not grant that at the time, but I believe as we continue to press forward, they will embrace this state policing and some other opportunity will be given to the Amotekun. What are the concerns? We must, however, acknowledge the concerns that have been raised in some quarters. Issues of abuse, training, funding, and political interference. Let me say here that Amotekun has come to stay in Ondo State. And not only in Ondo State, even in Ekiti State, Ogun State, Osun State, Oyo State, we have Amotekun. But Ondo State Amotekun is special. They talk about funding. We have been funding Amotekun since its creation. And we are not owing salaries. We are building infrastructures. We are paying pensions, gratuity. We are doing all the things that government should do. But we take very seriously our primary mandate of protection, security, and welfare of our people. Now, funding is not a problem. The state should be able to do that. People always also have concerns about training. Our Amotekun are professionals. They are being trained from time to time. You talk about political interference. We have conducted about 3 elections since Amotekun was created. We know in all of these elections, Amotekun personnel have not been found wanting in any way. We allow the police, the federal structure, to take the front seat while we stay behind to support them so that we can have free and fair election. It's not being used against opposition in any way. So where is the abuse? But we can still do better. So all those concerns are something that should not deprive us of embracing a better structure, security-wise. But I firmly believe that with the right safeguards and governance structure in place, state policing can be the transformative solution we so desperately need as a country. We must learn from the shining example of the Amotekun Corps and forge a path forward that enshrines accountability, transparency, and unwavering commitment to our people. Now, like I said, state policing is not the only solution, but it's part of the solution. Amotekun, as a form of state policing, may not be a cure, a total cure to all the deep-seated issues that plague our nation security-wise, but it's a good starting point, a bold experiment, and a step in the right direction. It provides an elixir to some inadequacies of our centralized policing structure, its slow response times, its lack of cultural sensitive. Amotekun is based on community, is a community-driven structure. Let me say here that when we are recruiting Amotekun, right from the one, we go back to the various local government, the various community. We interface with the traditional institutions to nominate political heads and leaders of community, religious leaders from the various communities to nominate people that should be recruited into Amotekun from the various communities and local governments. And when they finally got recruited, they were trained and sent back to their various local government and community to function. So they are culturally sensitive. They know the terrain. They are part of the people. They know who are cultists that need to be curbed. They know who are having, other kinds of characters because they are part of the society. And that is what we're talking about by state policing. The current police, even though they are talking about community policing, is a way of posting people from different parts of the country, but they all use the tag community policing. But they need to move away from that and allow state policing. The current structure has an ability to address the unique needs of our diverse communities. Let us build on the success of Amotekun. We must learn from its challenges too. We must take the lessons we have learned and apply them on a larger scale. We've learned our lessons in the operation of Amotekun. Some of them, like I said, might not be for this gathering. We must also work towards a more comprehensive approach to security. One that addresses the root causes of insecurity rather than merely treating the symptoms. There are some root causes of insecurity that we need to address, not just putting security personnel in operation. Insecurity is a hydra-headed monster that requires multifaceted approach. It is not enough to deploy more troops and to increase the number of security patrols. We must address the underlying economic, social, and political factors that drive insecurity. We must invest in education, in job creation, and social welfare programs that provide opportunities for our youth. We must create an environment where the young people of Nigeria can see a future for themselves, where they can channel their energy, innovative skills, and talents into productive endeavors rather than turning to crime and violence. These are part of what we should do as government if we must tackle headlong the challenges of insecurity. And I say the time is now to do all of this. Distinguished girls, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now for action. Let us rise above the challenges and embrace the promise of state policing. There is a promise in it. We can see the success of Amotekun, a vision that the late Arakun Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, SANCON, fought for, one of your own. He fought for it so passionately. I remember at the time he made a statement, and he said, "I will never play politics with the lives of my people." Let us honor his legacy by ensuring that Amotekun calls and its counterparts across the country become institutions that stand the test of time and beacons of hope in fight against insecurity in our nation. Together, let us write a new chapter in the annals of our country history. Just as we plan, you theme this conference, pressing forward, a posture of building a better Nigeria. One where every citizen can live, work, and thrive without fear. Where the security of our communities is not just a lofty ideal, but a constitutional reality. Let us seize this moment and forge a brighter, safer future for all Nigerians. And finally, let me once again express the gratitude of the government of Ondo State and the good people of the state to the Nigeria Bar Association and all our dignitaries here present for organizing this session in honor of our late leader and former governor, one of your own before his demise, a former president of the bar, the courageous, integrity personified, vocal, and visionary Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, SANCON. What we celebrate here today is not just another conference of a noble men and women. It is a testament to the huge difference one person can make. We are further consoled as a people in Ondo State and reminded also that our leader, our former governor, Arakunrin, lives on as his legacy continues to resonate. I thank you all and God bless you.